Okay. All right. It says we are live. Says we are live, but it's still loading on the other page. So I can just go get started. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Sabrina Maurice here, live from down under in New Zealand. So kia ora. I got baby Tree here. Say hello. No, she just woke up, guys. So she's part of our live video. Super excited to have Miss May Millward with us live here. Feel very honored that you jumped on this with me because you're just such a dynamic woman. And I'm super excited for everybody to gain just wisdom from your experience of being mom of six and seasoned entrepreneur. So I would love to learn more about what you do and share that with everybody. Okay, so go for it.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah. Thank you so much. I'm honored that you asked me to come on. When you reached out, I just said, absolutely, I'd love to do it. So, because anybody that knows Sabrina just knows what an amazing, dynamic woman she is. And so, if you love Sabrina, which I'm sure y'all do, put a little love in the chat for her, for putting this wonderful series together. I've been actually going through and watching and learning from some of the other women that she's brought on, and it's been enlightening. And I love the thought, empowered women empower women. That's what we do. When you are confident in who you are as a woman, you just go there and help everyone else out there just step into their power so we can all, make this world a better place. And it gets fired up. Yeah, I love it. I love it so much. So I appreciate you. And I actually met Miss Sabrina at a retreat with our children. Like we were going and having ourselves poured into so that we could, become better individuals.
4 years ago now? I think
I think
4
so.
years ago. Yeah.
3.5 or something like that.
Yeah, Landon would have been 10. Something like that. Oh my gosh, that's crazy, eh?
Yeah. So I'm grateful we've stayed connected, and I love your presence on social media, and the goodness that you're sharing in your light. So thanks for being you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
it's been a privilege and a pleasure to watch you 3 years ago. 3 or 4 years ago when we first got connected. I had shared a picture from that retreat with you, and you were like, I look like a whole different person, and I will agree. You shine differently. It's not that the shine wasn't there, it's just a different shine. And so
it definitely, when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's me. I did not even recognize myself. And I think that that's a true testament, right? To like, just growing, just intentionally growing yourself, because, change, that's inevitable. That's going to happen. The silvers are coming in, right? No matter. But transformation is the conscious choice. And it really is quite simple. And it's as simple as just deciding and deciding with conviction and saying, I want a better way. So if you're out there on this call thinking, I want a better way in my life, I want to improve myself, drop a 1 in the chat and just say, hey, I'm here. I'm here to help myself perform the best that I can be. Right. Because when you do that, I promise you great things are going to happen. So to answer your question, Sabrina, my experience is, a mom of 6, after I love my children, they're wonderful. They're wonderful. And they're all at the same time. and they'd say the same thing about me. Right. And emphasis on the awful. And, we do the best that we can. But, I found myself, in a space where I had lost my light. I didn't know, who I was anymore. I'd forgotten, my potential, and it got a little bit buried and a little bit lost. And I am truly grateful that, hard things came into my life because oftentimes it's when we get in that space of desperation that we can get to that space of inspiration. And so if you're in a state of desperation, drop a 2. That's a poopy situation. So number 2 is perfect for that. So drop a 2 if that's where you're at, or if you've ever been there. And that really led me to a space where I just prayed and I needed a miracle. I'll tell you, my daughter needed a surgery and it was going to cost $20,000. I don't have health insurance. I'm a wannabe. And so I don't have health insurance. And so she needed this surgery. We just bought this old farmhouse out in Utah and renovated it. So we were just flat broke. the surgery was going to cost $20,000, and I genuinely didn't have $20 to my name.
Wow.
Anybody feel me on that one?
Desperation for sure, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And so I just came home a pile of tears, just crying, and went in my room. I said, I need a miracle, and I do not know where this is going to come from.
Yeah.
And the very next day, inspiration, I tell you, it's powerful. Ask and you shall receive, right?
It's true.
Whatever it is. And my friend reached out to me, and she said, I've got something you need to see, and connected me up with a project that shifted my world into a totally different space, that helped me bring back my light, that brought hope to me, that I could turn around and give hope to others. And that same principle of empowered women, empower women, that butterfly effect.
Yeah.
And so I got, that's how I got connected up with building a business while staying at home with my children, while homeschooling them for a period of that time. I never look back, and I'll never do it another way, because it brought a light back in me. It brought a fire back in me, and a passion that I'm just thrilled out of my mind about.
I would say that's the biggest difference that I noticed. So I had watched you ever since about that time, and just kind of like watched, from just seeing. And then, you know how you guys watch people like creeper style? Like I wasn't creeper style, but I was for sure like, what is going on with Mary? Like just you being on stages and just surrounded by these phenomenal people. I didn't know them, but I could feel like their energy of genuine love and support and caring, and intentions of like creating that difference in the world. And so then fast forward a couple till now, November, I also found myself praying and was like, okay, like what am I meant to do? Like how, we can know all the things that we know, but like what am I going to do with all this information you've given me, And it was like, you need to reach out to May Millward. And I was like, oh, okay. You hadn't been on my radar at that point too much. So I was like, oh yeah, let's see what's going on. And I just knew that I knew there was a reason we were teamed up together. And I just don't argue with God. When he's like, go to Mary, and I'm like, okay, I don't know why, but I'm going to just trust and surrender and do the thing and, be a trender. And thankfully I did, because you were you have this presence on social media that is just so beautiful. And then like interacting with you more has been like, oh my goodness, like why did I wait 3 years? What is happening here? So
oh, timing is so interesting, right? And I remember being just so grateful that you did reach out, and you have such an incredible heart, and so grateful to.
Thank you. Yeah, so I'm assuming that being a mom of 6, because I've got 7 and 5 here with me, 2 are back in the States, being a mom of that many children, plus running a business, and it's not even just a business, but like leading a community, right? Of light warriors, of people, hope changers, like hope dealers, right? Or whatever it's called. Being that leader of all of that, give us 3 tips of how you managed to do it all, because I know you didn't just like wake up all sunshine and rainbows and be like, I did it and I've arrived. Like what are your top 3 tips?
Oh yeah. Okay. I've got a lot of them. We could be here all night, because
right?
I've learned a lot along the way. And, I really genuinely have learned a lot, but, I would say if I just had to say top 3, number 1 would definitely have to be that time blocking category down. It really is something that makes a big difference. And I'm not an organized person. I like to just, be free and, go with the moment, go where I'm feeling, where I'm feeling led and inspired to be. And guess what? You can be organized and orderly and still be free and go with the flow and inspiration. I promise you. So that's, don't worry, you're okay. If you do energy profiling, I'm a 3 too. And so Sabrina, we're both 3. So kills me on that.
I get
it. So anyway, this time blocking is amazing. And the best tip for you, if you have a pen, write this down. What you need to really focus on is priority management. That's what really comes down to. And if you don't know how to determine your priorities, here's 3 things to help you determine your priorities. Number 1, what are the things that only you can do? Some of you have little babies at home, so only you can be making the food, right? Only you can be changing the diapers. some things that only you can do, right? And
Yeah.
so you got to, write those things down. Those are your priorities. Number two, what is it that that gives you the most reward, that yields the greatest harvest, right? What's the most important activities you can do that are going to be the most productive to help you work towards your goals? Okay.
Love this.
Number three, what brings you the most joy? Did you forget what brings you joy?
Yeah.
Because if you've forgotten, it's time to wake that part of you up and remember what it is that brings you joy and lights you up. And those things need to be priorities as well. And then take a little calendar. I personally, I don't like to make spreadsheets. It's not my jam. I just went on, it's called makinglemonade.com. And it's an already put together spreadsheet, a 30-minute time blocker. So you can pull that up if you want. It's awesome. And I just printed it out and I filled in my every day starting at 5 a.m. And just, I drop your priorities in there first. I know that at 11:30, I'm going to spend this time, with my daughter. I know that at 4:30, I have this work call, and fill in your priorities and those go in first. And then all the other stuff will fill up, because your day will fill up. I promise you.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
It totally does. So make sure that you get those priorities put in there first. And one other tip that I want to tell you about time blocking is, I know when I first started building this business, I had some major roadblocks come up in mentally. Went to my son's football game. I've got lots of kids and lots of sports activities.
Yeah.
I was at his football game, and we had two kids at different football games. So my husband went to one and I went to the other. And halfway through his game, I left and went to a work event. And this is a new world for me, right? Stepping into business for the first time. So I went to a work event and I coordinated a ride home for him. When I got home, he looked at me and said, "Mom, I scored a touchdown. And when I looked over on the sidelines, you weren't there." Oh, like dagger to my heart, right? And I could have come home and been like, "That's it. I'm done. I'm not doing this." And there were parts of me that wanted to, but I promise you, whatever roadblock, whatever's in your way, that was a scarcity mindset, that I either do business or I'm there for my kids, either or. Guess what? That's not true. There's a glorious there's a glorious abundance out there.
Yes.
And so I called around and I found a different sporting league and club that has all the boys go in the same area. And so my husband and I go to one game and we sit in the middle of the field and they all have their games at the same time in one area. So if I needed to step out, my husband could be there, vice versa. So there's another way. I promise you, just take a minute, think on it, meditate on it, look from a different vantage point at the situation. And there is I promise you.
I love this. It's finding a solution rather than being focused on the problem.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Being solution oriented. And that goes for all things in life. Like, right? It's like anything could stop you, but if you can go, okay, hold on, there's other possibilities. Because the moment you say either I don't know or oh my gosh, this is it, you're right. But the moment you go, okay, what else is possible? It opens up your brain to think of other ways and receive the information that you may not be, receiving if you block it with your thoughts. So I love that. I put that in there. And I love that you said about what brings you the most joy. So last weekend, I had got the opportunity to go up north and get with my team. And it could have been all business, but like what brings me joy is having fun and playing and laughing. And so we went to Rainbow's End, we went to Hanua Falls, jumped in, it was just, that to me is what this is all about. And this for you guys, anything that you're doing, as long as you're doing it with a higher vibration of energy, like happiness, joy, gratitude, you're always going to reap a higher harvest, really, right? That's what it's about. Okay, so your top 3 tips: priority management. I loved everything. There's a glorious and abundance. And then makinglemonade.com. I'm totally downloading that. So very cool. Yeah.
It really is great. In fact, if you can let me share a screen, I can even show it if you want, so people know.
Yes, I would love to. Let me have a look at how I can do that. Just
the top 3 dots and make co-host.
Oh, cool. I can do that too. Okay, I was going to do it differently, but yes. Okay.
See, there's lots of different ways, lots of solutions.
No. Okay, more May Coast. There you go.
Awesome.
May Coast. Yeah. Okay, go for it.
Okay, perfect. Let's see if I can find it here. Okay, so it's right here. It's making lemonade,
Mm.
and it's already just like put together for you. This
Oh my goodness.
calendar.
I really
Template.
hope everybody pays attention to this because this is a game changer for real. I can feel it. This is awesome.
Yeah, and it's done. It's free. It's a printable. It's done. You don't have to go and do it. It's already kind of cute and ready to go. Like, I
Yeah.
don't like to make documents. That's not my jam. So
Oh,
it's
thank
great.
you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to touch on, as part of what you do, you're a visionary for the butterfly campaign. Can you explain what that is? How people, like, is it something that people can donate to? Like, how does it work? So yeah, just explain. I know we recently had an event at the beginning of February where I think we raised like $11,000 for the, yeah, you explain. I'll hand it over back.
Yeah, you betcha. So yeah, the butterfly campaign is our women's empowerment movement, and it's attached to what we do already within our community of bringing hope to people. And we do that through nutrition, we do that through personal development, we do that through setting people up for retirement. But our women's empowerment portion of it is we get together. Before we had all these meeting restrictions, we would get together and have goal setting workshops and things like that. And we had our virtual women's summit, our first ever, and brought in specialists and experts to come in and train on subjects such as self-sabotage and, you know, how to overcome those things and priority management, all these subjects, and diving deep into them and how to really, you know, rise above different challenges that we all face. And so that was really powerful. And all of the donations, it was a $20 ticket for this beautiful summit, and 100% of the proceeds went to Caring Hands, where we were able to put together this virtual library in Mexico for all of the individuals that no longer had access to education because of what's going on with different meeting restrictions. So we were able to give to so many individuals. We were able to donate $11,000 worth of money towards creating these virtual libraries. And that's just a very small part of what we do. Oftentimes we do these beautiful potato packs, and we're in 27 countries with our charity, feeding families all around the world. Sabrina's connected up with this as well and does a fantastic job of helping provide support for that. So that's our women's empowerment group. And you can all be involved in it in any way that you'd like to be involved. We have a community. You can definitely come on and participate in any of the education. We're doing a live women's retreat here in a couple of weeks, and that should be really fun and enlivening, and really looking forward to that. And so you're welcome to, if you've got questions about it, you're welcome to reach out and ask Sabrina more about it, or, you know, myself. I'm May Millward on social media, and happy to connect you up with
awesome
things that we have.
Now, is the retreat open to anybody?
Not this one. This is a test one we're running right now. So I probably should have said that. Sorry. So this one is just, sorry. This one is just open to just our entrepreneurs right now. And we're just testing it out and really helping. It's called the Chrysalis Retreat. And we're really helping women, you know, break out of that barrier, break through that barrier and transform and take flight. And that's really to going within so that you can, you know, get yourself out there and shine that light of
flying. Yeah, that was another reason why I knew this was for me, because butterflies have been in my life, in my transformational journey, which probably isn't surprising. Like it sounds like it's like a thing for everybody, but like it really has been like this big deal. And like I wrote this poem when I had been going through some really tough stuff, and it was the Butterfly Fairy. And then after we made it through this really difficult time in our lives, I wasn't really ever into tattoos or anything, but I had this like tiny butterfly tattoo right there. And it's a semicolon, because the semicolon represents, you know, it doesn't end here. It's an and, you know, so I love that you brought in this and, right? Like there's these possibilities. It doesn't end. And it's a symbol of hope, and butterflies are all about that transformation, because the caterpillar thinks it's the end, not knowing that there's an and. So that's why it was like there. It just beautifully coordinated with everything that I have been doing my whole life, you know, my adult life. And then it synced up and I was like, oh yeah, okay. Well, now I see why you wanted me to sync up with Miss Mary, because you're, yeah, all lined up with the most beautiful things. So yeah, guys, if you are looking for a way to make a difference in the world, reach out to Miss Mary. The butterfly, ask me even about the butterfly campaign. If you want more tips, Miss May Millward is the way to go, and ask for more business and mom balanced life tips, because it can get difficult. It's like my kids have had the same thing where like Donna more recently has been like, you're always on your phone. And it's like, I've hated that feeling. And I'm like, oh, I don't like that. Like, and then my son, he's like, it's okay. She's like working on a business, and you know, so I'm still balancing. And I love this lemonade thing. I'm like, okay, I gotta do the priority thing. And I feel like I'm getting better, but it's a work in progress, you know. So yeah, being graceful with ourselves, huh, when we're first starting out.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And also understanding there's seasons for everything too, right? I mean, and when an airplane's taking off, it's got to be wildly out of balance for a little bit, right? So if you're wildly out of balance for a hot minute, you're okay.
It's gonna be okay. Yeah.
You're gonna be okay. But definitely like enroll your family in the vision, enroll your children in the vision, right? And that's what we did. Hey, these are our goals. As soon as mommy hits this goal, we're going to Disneyland, you know, and kids had never been. And so that really helped. And when we took them to Disneyland, you know, Disneyland was great. You know, it wasn't like, oh my gosh, amazing. But that was the first time they'd been to the ocean.
Yeah.
And it was cold in California and my kids were fully clothed. We didn't bring swimsuits to the beach. We just went to the pier to have lunch, and they were fully clothed in the ocean. I'm going to get emotional right now because it was just one of those beautiful memories where they were just having the time of their lives. And it was just the culmination of all the hard work that we all put in together, you know, and watching, you know, my dad, I grew up on a farm. And so it's like, you'd all participate in, you know, all of the sowing and all of the efforts of planting and all of that. And then you get to reap the harvest, and you watch it in action. And oftentimes there's a disconnect with our children. And, you know, daddy goes to work or mommy goes to work and comes home and money's just there. And having a business where I get to do it with my children in conjunction, we set these goals together. It helps them be more goal oriented, more driven, and they see the rewards of and the fruits of your labors, if you will.
Yeah, it's so true. I love that you brought that up, because enrolling our children in the vision, I have definitely been able to do that, and they're like, okay, we got this. For the most part, everyone's good, but you know, there's always that one kiddo who's like not okay with how you're doing things, right? Like not okay with change. She's a type 4-3. Love my
yeah, I was gonna say type 4, right?
So yeah, I love that I just get to remind her, like, this is what we're doing this for, and I love your support, and balancing with grace, like where it's like, you know, right now I'm doing the work, and then we're going to be able to just play, you know. And so I think there's so many lessons that we're teaching them that we don't even fully understand yet, that we will know once they grow up. So release yourself, you guys, of any mom guilt. It's all going to be a learning lessons for them that will benefit them. Anything else that you want to share before we go?
Yeah, for sure. Two really quick things. And I think Elena might have talked about this on your live, but just gratitude is everything. Gratitude is so important. First thing, just try, if you need to change one thing, just change this one thing. Roll over in the morning, and when your feet hit the floor, thank you. And just start your morning with just gratitude and start thinking and noticing all the things you're grateful for. And I promise you, all the good things in my life, all the blessings in my life have been born of gratitude. And when I was in a space of gratitude, a space of, you know, ingratitude. So definitely that. And then one last bonus tip is, if you are looking for kind of like, if you're happy with your business, if you're a woman in business and you're like, I am passionate about it, I'm fired up about it, I love it. Wonderful. Good for you. You keep fighting that good fight. We're going to be cheering you on. It's going to be amazing. But if you're looking for something, here's my advice for you on how to find the right something, you know, that you're like, oh, I know I'm meant for more. I'm looking, you know, to have my life be better. I'm hungry for a better way. These are some tips I have for you, just real quick. Number one, find a product or a service that you can get passionate about. It's got to light you up, right? Like I love lipstick, I love leggings, I love jewelry, but those aren't to get passionate about sharing with people. Some people can, that's not for me. Find something that really drives you and gets you excited about life. And that's got to be your product or your service in your business. Number two, find something that already has a system. You don't want to have to reinvent the wheel. You don't want to have to reinvent the wheel. I promise you, there are a lot of great systems out there. And one I love is one of my direct mentors, Mr. Thornhill, is a Navy SEAL instructor. And he and his wife created this beautiful system we could just plug right into and move along. And I had no business experience. I was like, I don't know how to build a business. I don't know how to have distribution. I don't know how to, do anything.
You're like, what doing?
Well, what doing? Yes, exactly. But I said, I can do that. I can plug into a system that's already moving. That's great. So find something with a system that's already moving. And last thing, find something that has mentorship connected to it. Because if you're here and you want to go here, this gap right here is going to be awfully lonely and with a lot of learning curves. And if you can have a mentor who says, all right, let's do this, and grab your hand, they'll take you up there, it's going to make things 8 million times better. And this is a full mentorship program and model that we have here. And technically speaking, I'm Sabrina's mentor, which I laugh about because I learned so much from her. It definitely goes both ways for sure. And so that's what I would urge you to do. If you're seeking something out, make sure that it's got those 3 things in place for you, so you can really drive towards those big goals that you have. So.
I love it. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time and all of your wisdom. I wrote everything down in the chat, but if there's anything else that I may have missed, like feel free to add it. And guys, like feel free to reach out to either one of us. This is something for me that has already changed my life. And that's what I needed to be a part of, is something that provided hope for people in the future, because there's a lot of things happening that are creating the opposite of hope, right? So finding that place where it feels like home and like you can grow without the cap. Like, a job has that, like, you can make this much. And it's like, do it differently. So anyway, love you. Thank you so much. And I'll catch you on the other side. Bye guys. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
And watch me still get this wrong. I don't know how to stop my live. You're the host. You got to turn it back over to me. Bye guys. We'll hop off in a second, I guess.